All right, so we're continuing with our lesson from yesterday about how to pack objects with information. So up till this point, what we've done is we've created memory objects for different items, right? Our DTR items, and we found a way through a story to link those items so that we can know where they are. What we want to do now is we want to dig in, and let's say I want to actually know more. I want to remember more about Churchill or Stalin or Hirohito or whatever than their name. Well, so what we do is we use the links to link information to that object. All right, so let's go back here, and I'm going to go to my copy of World War II countries, okay? And so what for each one, I can go add information. And what I've done for each one is I've thought about, actually, hold on. I did World War II countries. I want to do World War II leaders. All right, so what I can do here, all right, so I have my people here, and so now what I want to do is I want to think about what do I want to remember about Churchill. So let's say that what I want to remember about Churchill is that he came from England, okay? And we're going to learn more. This is a little simplistic, but we're going to learn. You're going to be able to attach whatever piece of information you want to your DTR item and your memory object, but I want to just show you how you do that. So let's just say that what we want to do for each of these is we want to remember what country the person was associated with. So we'll do submit here, and I have a little bit of bug. Hopefully that'll be fixed by the time you guys do it, where it goes right back to where you want to be. Stalin was from Russia. Okay, and Hirohito was from Japan. And there's all sorts of things. We're going to be able to learn dates. You're going to be able to learn titles. You're going to be able to learn whatever, or you're going to be able to associate whatever it is that you want. Okay, so what we're going to do then is for each of these, we're going to create a object story, and that's sort of like what we did with this, where we created a story that linked all of our DTR items. But in this situation, we're going to. All right, so we got some background noise, but we're just going to have to deal with it, okay? So I might have to re-record this. But so what we want to do is very straightforward, is we take Churchill, right? And we say, we know that we have a story that if I want to go with my World War II leaders, I know I have my story about the church on the hill, and the bathroom stall, and the hero heater, and the Rose Belt, and the hitter, and the Mussolini. So I don't need to worry about that. I have a single object for each of those people. But let's say I want to dig in and I want to remember 5 things about Churchill. Well, what I need to do then is define what are the 5 things. We're going to only do one thing here, but you'll see how it works. So I want to find one thing about Churchill, and I want to link it so that Churchill now, if I think about the church on the hill, that I say that it is associated with England. Okay, so what we need then are we need memory objects for the things that we want to remember. All right, so in this situation, I got a list of countries, World War II countries, and so right here for England, my object is you have a variety of objects. I had Big Ben, the clock. I had the English flag. I had the redcoats from like World War I, from like the Revolutionary War. So let me just pull up some images so we can take a look at those. So here are some for my countries, right? So here's my potential image for France. Here's my image potentially for England. Here's my image. This is German Shepherd. Okay, so that's a possible. But what you need, just like anything, is if you're trying to remember the countries, you need to think about, well, what are the images that I'm going to use? So I have some suggested ones. For Russia, I have like a Russian wolfhound, or people rushing around, or I have like those Russian hats, Russian hat like this, or I have that's for the United States, the Statue of Liberty flag for the United States. Here's redcoats if you want to use that for England. Pizza for Italy. Again, you can use whatever you want. This one was a little tough, but I said for Japan, I could use a pan. But if you know, like, that a samurai warrior comes from Japan, or if you know, like, that, you know what, like, a World War II fighter plane looks like, or if you know what the Japanese flag looks like or anything like that, you can use those as well. But what you need to do is you need to come up with memory objects. So then, at that point, you probably can guess how we do this. We take a church on a hill, we connect it with England, right? And let's say our memory object for England is Big Ben, the clock, the large clock that you see in London. And so then I have church on a hill, with a huge Big Ben clock next to it, right? So now, this is what I do when I want to dig in and unpack the things that I link. Now, maybe I do it where I say church on a hill with flag on it, or church on a hill with redcoats guarding it. So that's the way that I associate England with my memory object church on a hill. All right, so that's just an option. So let's go and see another one here. Let's say that I want to do World War II leaders, and I want to do Stalin, add info. So I have my stall, and let's say that I'm going to use the Russian hat as my symbol for Russia. So then I have a bathroom stall, but it's covered with furry Russian hats, right? Covered with furry Russian hats. Or if I was using the Russian wolfhound, then I could have a bathroom stall and a Russian wolfhound coming out of the toilet, right? Or barking at me, guarding the toilet. It doesn't really matter, because what we're just doing is we want to create a memory object story that links the stall with the Russian hat. Now, in this situation, we're only doing one item, right? We just want to associate the memory object with the country. But as we'll see, and I'm going to probably have to do this tomorrow instead of today, we're going to take common math formulas and we're going to look at, I don't know where all of them are, common math formulas, and we're going to take things like the area of the circle, and we're going to go through it and link the actual formula so that when I think area of a circle, I can remember actually what it is, not just that there is something called the area of the circle. All right, so what you really want to do, yesterday your assignment was to identify for each of your memory objects a couple of items, and this could be one to start, but you can do one or two. And what you're doing is you're creating a little mini story. In some cases it's a mini story, in some cases it's just an object that links your memory object for the item with the facts that you want to remember about it. 300 million people, let's say. Let's say that was what we wanted to do. Well, then we would use our memory object for Russia. I'm going to show you later how you can turn numbers into objects and connect those. And then you have a little story about this stall that's covered with Russian furry hats. And, again, I haven't shown you this, but you will do it. So that's what we're doing with our linking. And this is very important because it goes beyond just having terms. It actually enables you to make those terms mean something. All right? So what I want you to do today, going back to our assignment, what I want you to do today is right here. Go to your assignment, and your job today is to watch this video, which you're doing, and then look at the two class lists and just think about, with regards to, creating these memory object stories that link the leader object, the object that we have for the World War II leader, and the country object. And try to do that so that you can now go beyond just making a list of the leaders from World War II, but you can do the list of the leaders and the countries. And then you're not going to be ready to do the math formulas, but you can start looking at your own list and start to pack it. So what you can do there is you can go to one of your own lists, right, like South American countries, and click on your country. And if you probably already have a memory object here, so then you can start thinking about what you already had identified. What are some things you want to remember, and then just think: can you make a story that connects your memory object for the item to the memory objects for the different facts? You still have to make memory objects because you have to be able to visualize them, right? But depending on, like we've talked about, depending on how complicated the facts are that you're trying to remember, this might be as simple. This might be very simple. So, but that's what you want to do. You want to go through your custom lists, click on this Add Info link. Whoops. Click on this Add Info link, and then connect your memory object to the things that you want to link it to. Okay, and that way, when you're going to take a quiz on this. Now you're not just able to remember the item; you're able to remember things about the item as well. Okay.